stop. Before you scroll past this video, I need you to watch the next 60 seconds very carefully, because what I'm about to share could literally save your life, or the life of someone you love. Here's something most doctors don't tell you at your annual checkup. Your liver can be silently failing for years, and you'd feel almost nothing. No dramatic pain, no obvious warning. Just small, quiet signals your body sends out that almost everyone over 60 completely misses. And by the time those signs become impossible to ignore, it's often too late to reverse the damage. My name is Dr. James Harlow. I've spent over 22 years working in internal medicine, and I've sat across from hundreds of seniors. Good people, active people, people who took their vitamins and walked every morning, who came to me with what they thought were just normal signs of aging. Tired all the time? That's just getting older. A little forgetful. Senior moments. Itchy skin out of nowhere? Itchy skin out. Probably just dry air. But when we ran their labs, the liver was in crisis. The truth is, your liver is the most overworked, underappreciated organ in your entire body. It performs over 500 vital functions every single day. Filtering your blood, processing every medication you take, regulating your hormones, storing energy, and fighting off toxins. Every single day. And after 60, it starts losing its ability to repair itself the way it once could. So when it starts breaking down, it whispers before it screams. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 hidden signs your liver is desperately begging for help right now. We're counting down from 7 to 1, and I promise you by the time we get to sign number 4, you're going to want to pick up the phone and call your doctor. Some of these signs are shockingly common. Some of them you've probably brushed off for months, and at least one of them, I can almost guarantee, is something you're experiencing right now. So stay with me. Don't skip ahead, because the sign most people miss is usually the one that matters most. Let's begin. Let's start with sign number 7. And I want you to think about this carefully as I describe it, because I'd be willing to bet you've felt this before and never connected it to your liver. Sign number 7, constant, unexplained fatigue. Not the kind of tired you feel after a long day of yard work. I'm talking about the kind of exhaustion that sits deep in your bones, the kind where you wake up after 8 hours of sleep and still feel like you haven't slept at all. You're dragging yourself through the afternoon. Your energy crashes after lunch. You feel mentally foggy, physically heavy, and you just can't figure out why. Here's the science. And pay attention because this is important. Your liver is responsible for converting the food you eat into usable energy. It processes glucose, regulates blood sugar, and produces a molecule called glycogen, your body's primary fuel reserve. When your liver is under stress, that entire energy system gets disrupted. Your cells stop receiving clean, consistent fuel. Your brain starts running on empty, and your body responds the only way it knows how, by making you feel completely wiped out. I had a patient, her name was Margaret, 68 years old, retired school teacher from Ohio. She came to me complaining that she was just tired all the time. Her family thought she was depressed. Her previous doctor recommended more sleep and less stress. But Margaret wasn't depressed. Her liver enzymes were nearly 3 times the normal level. Once we addressed her liver health with a targeted nutrition protocol and removed 2 medications that were silently taxing her liver, Margaret told me within 6 weeks she felt like herself again for the first time in 2 years. Actionable fix right now. If you've been dealing with persistent fatigue that sleep doesn't fix, don't dismiss it. Ask your doctor specifically for a liver function test at your next visit. It's a simple blood test. It costs almost nothing, and it could tell you everything. Now let's move to sign number 6. This one surprises almost everyone the first time they hear it. Sign number 6. Itchy skin with no rash. You're itching your arms, your legs, sometimes your whole torso. But when you look at the skin, no, there's nothing there. No rash, no redness, no bug bite. So you grab the lotion, maybe try an antihistamine, and it helps a little, but it keeps coming back. Here's what's actually happening inside your body. When your liver is struggling, it can't properly process a substance called bile, a fluid your liver produces to help digest fats. Normally, bile travels through bile ducts into your intestines and does its job quietly. But when the liver is inflamed or damaged, bile salts can leak into your bloodstream and deposit just beneath the surface of your skin. And bile salts on nerve endings? They itch intensely, constantly, and mysteriously. This condition is called cholestatic pruritus, and studies published in the Journal of Hepatology show it affects nearly 1 in 3 patients with early-stage liver disease. Yet almost none of them connect the itching to their liver. I remember a 71-year-old gentleman named Robert. He had been using prescription-strength cortisone cream for almost a year for what his dermatologist called chronic dry skin. When he finally came to see me about something unrelated, a routine follow-up after a minor heart procedure, I noticed he kept rubbing his forearms during our conversation. I ordered a liver panel on a hunch. Robert had early-stage cirrhosis. He had no idea. His skin was literally trying to warn him for over 12 months. Actionable fix right now. If you have persistent itching, especially on your arms, legs, or torso, with no visible rash or skin condition explanation, write it down. Track when it happens. Is it worse at night? After eating fatty foods? Bring those notes to your doctor. Details matter. And please, don't just reach for the lotion and move on. Now here's what I need you to understand. Signs 7 and 6 are the quiet ones, the ones that whisper. Signs 5, 4, 3, and 2, those ones get louder. And number 4, the one I warned you about at the very beginning of this video. That one stopped me cold the first time I saw it in a patient who had no idea anything was wrong. Stay with me. Sign number 5. This one is hiding in plain sight, and the cruel thing about it is most seniors are told it's completely normal, that it's just part of getting older, that there's nothing to worry about. There is absolutely something to worry about. Sign number 5. Unexplained. Weight loss or loss of appetite. Not dieting, not trying. Just food stops appealing to you. You sit down for dinner, and after 3 or 4 bites, you're done. You've lost 8 pounds in 2 months without changing a thing. Your family thinks you're doing great. Your pants fit better. But inside, something is very wrong. Your liver produces bile acids and regulates dozens of metabolic hormones, including the ones that control hunger signals sent to your brain. When the liver is under serious stress, those signals get scrambled. Your body essentially starts telling your brain, stop eating, we can't process what we're taking in. A landmark study published in the American Journal of Gastroenterology found that unexplained appetite loss combined with unintentional weight loss is present in over 60% of seniors diagnosed with moderate to advanced liver disease. And in nearly 80% of those cases, the patient had attributed it to stress, aging, or a recent illness. Think about that number for a moment. 80%. That means 8 out of every 10 people whose liver was quietly failing believed something else entirely was causing their symptoms. I treated a woman named Dorothy, 74 years old, former nurse, which makes what I'm about to tell you even more striking. She had lost 14 pounds over 3 months. Her daughter was thrilled, thinking her mother had finally gotten serious about her health. Dorothy hadn't changed a single thing. When her results came back, her liver was severely inflamed. She had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, at a stage that required immediate intervention. She told me with tears in her eyes, I thought I was finally getting thin. I didn't know my body was shutting down. Actionable fix right now. If you or someone you love has lost more than 5% of body weight in less than 3 months, without intentional diet or exercise changes, that is a red flag, not a celebration. Get blood work done immediately. Now we move to sign number 4. I told you at the start of this video to pay attention to this one. I meant it. Sign number 4. Changes in your urine and stool color. I know. It's not glamorous. Nobody wants to talk about it. But I'm a doctor, and I'm telling you right now, what you see in the toilet could be the single most important early warning system your body has for liver failure. and almost nobody pays attention to it. Here is the science, and I want you to really hear this. Your liver produces a pigment called bilirubin, a byproduct of the natural breakdown of red blood cells. In a healthy liver, bilirubin is processed, converted, and expelled from the body properly. But when your liver is damaged or inflamed, bilirubin builds up. It has nowhere to go. So it starts appearing where it shouldn't. In your urine, bilirubin turns the color deep amber, dark yellow, sometimes the color of dark tea or cola, not the pale yellow of mild dehydration. We're talking noticeably, strikingly dark. In your stool, and when bile flow is obstructed or reduced, stools become pale, gray, almost clay-colored. That color change means bile, which normally gives stool its brown color, is no longer reaching your intestines properly. A study from the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases confirmed that dark urine and pale stools together represent one of the most reliable early indicators of liver and bile duct disease in adults over 60. Yet surveys show that fewer than 1 in 5 seniors regularly notice or report these changes to their physician. I once had a patient, 77 years old, a retired engineer named Gerald, who had been experiencing dark urine for 4 months before his wife finally convinced him to come see me. He had assumed he was just not drinking enough water. He had been drinking plenty of water. What he had was a bile duct obstruction putting enormous pressure on his liver. We caught it. We treated it. Gerald is fine today. But 4 months, he walked around with a signal that clear and missed it entirely. Actionable fix right now. Starting today, just glance. Once a day. Pale urine is good. Dark amber or cola-colored urine is not. Clay or gray-colored stool is never normal. If you see either, call your doctor that same day, not next week. That day. Now we come to sign number 3. And this is where things start to get deeply serious. Sign number 3, swelling in the abdomen, ankles, or legs. You've noticed your ankles look puffy by evening. You press a finger into your lower leg, and the indentation stays there for a moment, before slowly filling back in. Maybe your belly seems rounder, harder, a little distended, even when you haven't eaten much. This isn't just water retention. This isn't just standing too long. This is your liver sending you a distress signal in the clearest language a body knows. When liver function deteriorates significantly, 2 things happen simultaneously. First, the liver stops producing enough albumin, the protein responsible for keeping fluid inside your blood vessels where it belongs. Without sufficient albumin, fluid leaks out of the vessels and pools and surrounding tissue, your ankles, your legs, your feet. Second, in more advanced cases, fluid begins accumulating in the abdominal cavity itself in a condition called ascites. The abdomen swells visibly. It can feel tight, heavy, uncomfortable, especially when lying flat. The Hepatology Journal published data showing that ascites develops in approximately 50% of patients with liver cirrhosis within 10 years of diagnosis. And in many seniors, it is the very first symptom that finally prompts them to seek medical care. By that point, the damage has been building for years. I need you to understand something. Signs 7, 6, 5, those were whispers. Sign 4 was a firm warning. Sign 3 is your liver raising its voice. And sign 2 is your liver screaming. Sign number 2. Take a breath before I tell you this one. Because this sign is the one that makes experienced physicians stop mid-sentence when they see it walking through their door. It's the sign that changes the entire tone of a consultation. The sign that means we are no longer talking about prevention. We are talking about urgency. Sign number 2. Jaundice, yellowing of the skin and eyes. You look in the mirror one morning. Something seems off. The whites of your eyes look slightly yellow, almost golden. Your skin has taken on a faint yellow tint, especially noticeable in natural light. Maybe you noticed it yourself. Maybe your spouse pointed it out. Either way, this is not something to wait and see about. This is a medical emergency. Here is exactly what is happening inside your body when jaundice appears. Remember bilirubin, the pigment I mentioned earlier? When the liver is no longer functioning well enough to process and remove bilirubin from the bloodstream, it accumulates at critical levels. And bilirubin is intensely yellow. As it builds up in the blood, it begins depositing into every tissue in your body, your skin cells, the delicate membranes of your eyes, the mucous membranes under your tongue. Your body is literally being stained from the inside. The sclera, the white part of your eye, is often the first place jaundice becomes visible because it contains a protein called elastin that binds to bilirubin very easily. And here is the statistic I need you to sit with for a moment. Research published in the British Medical Journal found that when jaundice appears in adults over the age of 65, when it is the presenting symptom, the underlying cause is a serious liver or bile duct condition in over 85% of cases. Over 85%. This is not a coincidence. This is not a vitamin deficiency. This is not something a good night's sleep will fix. I had a patient, Eleanor, 69 years old, absolutely vibrant woman. She came in for what she thought was a routine follow-up after a mild bout of what she believed was food poisoning the previous week. Her daughter had driven her in. The moment Eleanor walked through my door, I saw it. Her eyes were a deep, unmistakable yellow. She hadn't even noticed. She told me she'd been feeling a little off for about 2 weeks. Slightly nauseous, tired, a dull ache under her right ribs that she had been attributing to sleeping on her side. She thought she just needed antacids. What Eleanor had was acute liver failure, triggered by a combination of long-term medication interaction and undiagnosed early cirrhosis that had been silently progressing for years. We admitted her that same afternoon. Eleanor spent 11 days in the hospital. She recovered. But she told me afterward, and I'll never forget these words. I looked in the mirror every morning for 2 weeks and just thought I looked tired. I never thought my liver was dying. Please, if you see yellow in your eyes, in your skin, do not wait. Do not Google it. Do not ask a friend. Go to an emergency room or call your doctor immediately. That same day, actionable fix right now. Check your eyes in natural light, not bathroom light, right now. Pull down your lower eyelid. The inner rim should be pink-red. The whites should be white. Any yellow tint, however slight, needs to be evaluated today. And now. We have arrived at sign number 1, the one I promised you at the very beginning. The one that stops me cold every single time. The one that is shockingly common, widely misunderstood, almost universally dismissed, and the most dangerous of them all, precisely because it looks like something else entirely. Sign number 1, personality changes, confusion, and memory problems. I know what you're thinking. That's just dementia. That's just aging. That's just what happens when you get older. That is exactly what makes this sign so deadly. Because for thousands of seniors every single year, what their families believe is the beginning of Alzheimer's disease is actually their liver failing. Let me explain the science. And please, I need you to really understand this because it could change everything for someone you love. When your liver is functioning normally, it filters a toxic compound called ammonia, a natural byproduct of protein digestion, out of your bloodstream before it can reach your brain. Every hour of every day, your liver is quietly neutralizing ammonia and converting it into a safe substance called urea that exits your body through urine. But when the liver is severely damaged, when it has lost enough functional tissue, it can no longer perform that filtration. Ammonia begins accumulating in the bloodstream, and ammonia is profoundly toxic to brain cells. It crosses the blood-brain barrier, the brain's protective shield, and it begins interfering with normal neurotransmitter function. It disrupts the delicate chemical balance that your brain depends on to think, remember, communicate, and regulate your emotions. The result is a condition called hepatic encephalopathy. And its symptoms? Forgetfulness, confusion, mood swings, sudden irritability, personality shifts, a gentle person who becomes inexplicably aggressive, a sharp, witty mind that suddenly struggles to follow a simple conversation, difficulty sleeping at night, sleeping too much during the day, handwriting that becomes shaky and unrecognizable. A study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that hepatic encephalopathy is misdiagnosed as dementia or depression in seniors at an alarming rate, with some research suggesting up to 40% of early-stage cases go unrecognized in patients over 65. 40%, nearly half of all cases, missed, misidentified, treated for the wrong condition entirely. I need to tell you about a man named Thomas, 72 years old, a retired high school principal. Sharp, organized, deeply proud of his mental clarity his entire life. His wife, Carol, brought him to see me because she was frightened. Over 4 months, Thomas had become someone she barely recognized. He forgot conversations they'd had hours earlier. He snapped at her over nothing. He sat in his chair some evenings and stared at nothing, completely unreachable. 2 neurologists had already evaluated Thomas. Both said early-stage dementia. Both recommended memory care planning. Carol wasn't satisfied. She pushed. She asked questions. She brought Thomas to me for a second opinion on something completely unrelated. And she mentioned almost as an afterthought what had been happening. I ran a comprehensive liver panel and a blood ammonia level. Thomas's ammonia levels were nearly 4 times the normal range. His liver had been failing silently for over a year. We started treatment that week. Medications to reduce ammonia production in the gut, dietary adjustments, direct liver support. Within 3 months, Thomas came back to my office and shook my hand. Told me a joke. Remembered my nurse's name from the previous visit. Carol cried in my waiting room. She told me, "I almost put my husband in a memory care facility. I almost gave up on him ever coming back. And it was his liver. It was his liver the whole time." This is why I made this video. This is why sign number 1 is sign number 1. Because it doesn't just steal your health. It steals you. Let's take a moment, because I just walked you through some heavy information, and I want you to breathe for a second. I didn't share any of this to frighten you into paralysis. I shared it because knowledge is the most powerful medicine I have ever been able to give a patient. More powerful than any prescription I've ever written. So let's bring it all together. We covered 7 hidden signs your liver may be begging for help right now. Sign 7. That deep, relentless fatigue that sleep never seems to fix. Your liver's energy system is struggling, and your entire body is paying the price. Sign 6. That mysterious itching with no rash. Bile salts beneath your skin. Your body whispering a warning most people scratch away and ignore. Sign 5. Unexplained weight loss or a vanishing appetite. Not a victory, a signal. Your metabolic system breaking down quietly while the people around you offer congratulations. Sign 4. Changes in your urine and stool color. Dark amber urine. Clay-colored stools. The single clearest, most reliable warning signal your body produces, and the one almost nobody checks. Sign 3. Swelling in your abdomen, ankles, and legs. Fluid accumulating where it should never be. Your liver losing the battle to keep your body's chemistry in balance. Sign 2. Jaundice. Yellow eyes, yellow skin. Bilirubin saturating your tissues. Not a symptom to observe and monitor. An emergency that demands action that same day. And sign 1. The one that breaks my heart every time I see it missed. Personality changes, confusion, memory problems. A brilliant, loving person disappearing behind a fog of ammonia poisoning, while the people who love them plan for a dementia diagnosis that was never really there. 7 signs. 7 ways your liver tries to reach you before it's too late. Now, here is what I need you to understand. And this is the most important thing I will say in this entire video. Liver disease is not a death sentence when it is caught in time. I have seen patients in their 70s completely reverse early-stage fatty liver disease through targeted dietary changes alone. I have watched seniors with elevated liver enzymes bring those numbers back to normal within months. Without surgery, without expensive treatments, without giving up everything they love. The liver is one of the only organs in the human body with a genuine capacity to regenerate and heal itself. but only when you give it the support it needs and only when you catch the problem before it progresses too far. Margaret got her energy back. Robert avoided a catastrophic health event. Dorothy got the intervention she needed in time. Gerald kept his independence. And Thomas got to come home to Carol as himself. That is what early awareness does. That is what you watching this video right now can do. For yourself, or for someone sitting right next to you who needs to hear this. Here is your action plan. Right now, today. Schedule a liver function test at your next doctor's appointment, or call and request one this week. Tell them you want your ALT, AST, bilirubin, and albumin levels checked. Write those words down right now. Check your eyes in natural light this evening. Pay attention to your urine color tomorrow morning. And if you have a parent, a grandparent, a spouse, a neighbor, someone over 60 whose energy has changed, whose personality has shifted, whose body seems to be sending quiet signals nobody is listening to, share this video with them today, not tomorrow. Today! Because the difference between catching this early and catching it late isn't measured in weeks. Sometimes it's measured in years of life. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 signs surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments below. I personally read every single one. And if you've experienced any of these signs yourself, or you know someone who has, tell me your story. Your comment might be the thing that convinces someone else to finally make that call. If this video helped you, or if you think it could help someone you love, please hit that like button and share this right now. It takes 2 seconds and it could genuinely change someone's life. And if you want to keep learning how to protect your health after 60, subscribe and hit the bell. Every week I bring you exactly this. Real science, real stories, and real tools to help you live longer, stronger, and fully yourself. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of your liver. It's been taking care of you your entire life.